Welcome. I'm Magnus, and I bring you horror stories to help you relax, or maybe to keep you up at night. Tell us where you're from. Are there spooky forests nearby? If you're a fan of scary stories, subscribe and drop a like. Get cozy, and let's begin. My name is Frank Holloway. I have 64 years old, and I live in Seattle, where I've settled into a quiet retirement after 3 decades as a park ranger. Those years spent in the wilderness of Oregon were the best of my life, tracking wildlife, helping lost hikers, and watching over the ancient forests that most people only visit briefly. My wife Margaret passed 2 years ago, and since then, our modest house has felt increasingly empty. The walls seem to close in a little more each day, suffocating me with memories and silence. Last week, while digging through boxes in the garage, I found my old ranger notebook filled with sketches of wildlife and trail maps of Mount Hood National Forest just outside Portland. The sight of those faded pencil drawings hit me with an overwhelming wave of nostalgia. I ran my fingers over the pages, remembering the lookout tower where I'd spent countless hours watching for smoke signals during fire season. Tower 37 had been my second home for nearly 15 years. The decision came suddenly. I needed to go back, not as a ranger, but as a visitor, to breathe that mountain air again and reconnect with the forest that had shaped so much of my life. I called my son to tell him my plans, and though I could hear the concern in his voice, he understood. "Just keep your phone charged, Dad," he said. If only I'd listened to the subtle warning in his tone. The forest had changed since my time there, but I was too stubborn to consider that anything could happen to an experienced outdoorsman like me. I packed my old SUV with camping supplies, most of which hadn't seen use since before retirement. The familiar weight of my backpack felt good on my shoulders as I loaded up. My old ranger uniform no longer fit, but I took my badge as a good luck charm, along with binoculars and field guides that I probably wouldn't need. Some habits die hard when you've spent your life observing and documenting nature's secrets. The drive from Seattle to Portland brought back memories of weekend trips with Margaret. We'd often explore the small towns along the way, stopping at roadside diners where the coffee was strong and the pie homemade. This time, however, I drove straight through, eager to reach the forest before nightfall. The radio kept me company with oldie stations that faded in and out as I wound through the mountains, replacing clear signals with unsettling static that seemed to whisper beneath the music. I arrived at the ranger station by mid-afternoon, where a young ranger named Jessie greeted me with professional courtesy that warmed when I showed her my old badge. "We don't get many former rangers coming back to camp," she said, studying my weathered face. "Especially not around Tower 37. When I asked why, she hesitated before mentioning there had been incidents in that area. Hikers reporting strange encounters, equipment going missing. Nothing concrete, she assured me. Probably just wildlife or overactive imaginations. I should have pressed for details, but I was too eager to dismiss her concerns. The familiar dirt road leading to Tower 37 looked narrower than I remembered, branches scraping against my SUV as I navigated the increasingly rough terrain. The forest seemed darker, too, the old-growth trees blocking out more sunlight than my memory suggested. As I pulled into the small clearing near the base of the lookout tower, a sense of homecoming washed over me. The tower itself stood tall against the darkening sky, its weathered structure a testament to decades of sentinel duty. The windows reflected the last rays of sunlight, giving the impression that someone might be watching from above. I set up camp efficiently, muscle memory guiding my hands as I arranged my site. The tent went up next to my SUV, a small fire pit was cleared, and my supplies were organized with military precision, habits formed during years of wilderness work. As darkness fell, I sat by my small campfire, nursing a cup of coffee laced with whiskey, listening to the forest sounds around me. Something felt off, though. The normal chorus of nighttime creatures seemed muted, as if the forest itself was holding its breath. I told myself it was just my imagination, that years in the city had dulled my senses to nature's rhythms. How horrifically wrong I was. The first night passed uneventfully, though I slept fitfully, haunted by dreams of being watched. I woke before dawn, a habit I'd never shaken from my ranger days, and made coffee on my portable stove. The morning light filtering through the trees should have been beautiful, comforting, but instead, It cast strange shadows that seemed to shift and move when viewed from the corner of my eye. I decided to hike up to the tower, partly for the view and partly to reconnect with my past. The trail to Tower 37 was overgrown, suggesting it hadn't been maintained in years. Strange, this area used to be popular with hikers and nature photographers. I struggled through sections where fallen trees blocked the path, and in some places, the trail disappeared entirely beneath thick undergrowth. About halfway up, I found the first disturbing sign that something was very wrong. A backpack, partially hidden under a rotting log, its fabric faded and torn. When I pulled it out, small bones tumbled from the open zipper. Animal bones, I told myself, though their shape nagged at my memory from forensic training we'd received for identifying human remains. My instincts screamed to turn back, to report the find to the ranger station, but curiosity and stubborn pride pushed me forward. The tower had been my responsibility for so many years. I felt personally invested in whatever might be happening here. As I continued climbing, more evidence appeared. Unusual marks on trees that looked like primitive symbols carved into the bark, scraps of clothing caught on branches, and most disturbing, a collection of items arranged in what appeared to be a deliberate pattern near a small stream. A watch, a broken compass, a child's shoe. Reaching the base of the tower, I found the door hanging open, its lock broken long ago. Inside, the first floor was littered with debris, food wrappers, broken glass, empty cans. Not unusual for an abandoned structure occasionally visited by teenagers or transients. But as I climbed the internal stairs to the observation deck, the hair on the back of my neck stood up. The space had been transformed. The standard fire-watching equipment was gone, replaced by crude furniture fashioned from branches, and was that bone? The observation deck offered a 360-degree view of the surrounding forest, and I used my binoculars to scan the area. Most of what I saw was familiar territory: the densely wooded slopes, the distant peak of Mount Hood, the ribbon of highway barely visible through the trees. But to the north, in a section that had been closed to the public due to unstable ground during my time as a ranger, I spotted something that turned my blood cold. Smoke rising from multiple locations, too controlled to be natural fires, too numerous to be standard campsites. I decided to investigate those smoke signals, but first, I needed to properly explore the tower. The disturbing transformation of the observation deck had unnerved me, but my training kicked in. I documented everything I found with my phone camera. The strange altar-like arrangement in the center of the room, the walls covered with tally marks and crude drawings depicting humanoid figures engaged in what appeared to be hunting activities. When I moved a pile of fabric in the corner, I discovered a collection of personal items: wallets, cell phones, car keys, at least a dozen sets. I picked up one wallet and found a driver's license issued just 3 months ago. As the sun began its westward descent, I faced a decision: return to my campsite and leave at first light, reporting everything to the authorities, or investigate the source of the smoke while I still had daylight. The ranger in me couldn't walk away from a potential emergency situation, but the voice of self-preservation grew louder with each passing minute. I compromised, deciding to return to my camp, secure my supplies, and then make a brief reconnaissance toward the smoke, just enough to determine if immediate action was needed. The trek back down to my campsite was faster but more treacherous than the ascent. Twice I slipped on loose gravel, and once I could have sworn I heard movement in the underbrush paralleling my path. When I finally reached my clearing, I stopped dead in my tracks. Someone, or something, had been through my camp. The tent was still standing, but my organization system had been disrupted. The cooler was open, food items tossed about, and most disturbing, my SUV's doors stood open, though I distinctly remembered locking them. Heart pounding, I approached cautiously, scanning the surrounding trees for any sign of movement. Inside my SUV, the disturbance continued. Maps unfolded across the seats, the glove compartment emptied onto the floor. Nothing appeared to be missing, but everything had been examined. As I stood there, trying to make sense of the invasion, a sound from the forest edge caught my attention, a low, rhythmic clicking unlike any animal call I'd documented in my years as a ranger. I turned slowly toward the source, my hand instinctively reaching for the hunting knife on my belt. At first, I saw nothing among the dense trees, but then movement caught my eye, not at ground level where I expected, but higher up. A figure perched on a branch about 15 feet above the forest floor, partially hidden by foliage but unmistakably human in shape. Yet something about the proportions seemed wrong, the limbs too long, the posture impossibly balanced. When it realized I'd spotted it, the figure didn't retreat. Instead, it tilted its head at an unnatural angle, regarding me with the dispassionate curiosity of a predator assessing potential prey. My ranger training included protocol for encountering everything from aggressive bears to armed poachers, but nothing had prepared me for this. I called out, identifying myself as a former ranger, asking who they were and what they wanted. The response was that same clicking sound, now joined by similar noises from different directions. With growing horror, I realized we weren't alone. There were others hidden among the trees, surrounding my little campsite. The first figure descended from its perch within human agility, giving me my first clear view of what I was dealing with. The man, if I could still call him that, was emaciated yet muscular, his skin covered in a mixture of dirt and what looked like clay or ash formed into ritualistic patterns. He wore tattered remains of outdoor clothing, and around his neck hung a macabre collection of small bones and teeth. But it was his face that hammered home the reality of my situation. His eyes were unnaturally wide, pupils dilated despite the afternoon light, and his mouth, his teeth had been filed to points, lips stained dark with what I desperately hoped wasn't blood. "This is federal land," I said, my voice steadier than I felt, falling back on authority that I no longer possessed. "Whatever you're doing here is illegal." The absurdity of citing regulations to this creature might have been funny in another context, but terror had stripped away any sense of humor. The man-thing responded with a guttural sound that might have been laughter, then spoke, his voice rough from disuse but still recognizably human. "Ranger Frank," he said, sending ice through my veins. He knew my name. "Long time. Tower misses you." The familiar words delivered with that inhuman grin created a cognitive dissonance that paralyzed me momentarily. Was this someone I had known? A former colleague or hiker transformed by isolation and madness? Before I could respond, more figures emerged from the trees, men and women of various ages, all bearing the same disturbing modifications and feral demeanor. One dragged something heavy that left a dark trail on the forest floor. The object was unceremoniously dumped in the clearing, a body, fresh enough that I could tell it had been a young man, probably a hiker who had strayed too far from marked trails. Parts of him were missing, crude cuts exposing bone and tissue. I fought back nausea as the implications became clear. The leader, the one who had spoken, gestured toward the body with casual pride, like a house cat presenting a dead bird to its owner. "Feast tonight," he announced. "You join. Honorary." My mind raced through escape scenarios, each less promising than the last. My SUV keys were in my pocket, but they had surrounded the vehicle. I could try to fight my way through, but I was outnumbered at least 10 to 1. As if reading my thoughts, the leader shook his head. "No leave now. Night coming. Not safe." The terrible irony that these cannibalistic predators were warning me about nighttime dangers wasn't lost on me. One of the group, a woman whose youth was still discernible beneath the filth and ritual scarification, approached with something in her hands, my ranger badge, taken from my backpack. She held it out like an offering, her movements suggesting reverence. "Remember," she said, her voice clearer than the leader's, suggesting she had joined this horrific community more recently. "You taught. Before hunger. Before change." A fragmented memory surfaced, a young park volunteer who had worked a summer season during my final years. Had this been her? Had I unknowingly abandoned someone to this fate? The group began preparing for what they clearly considered a feast, dragging the body toward a fire pit larger than mine. Their movements were practiced, efficient, suggesting this was routine for them. I knew I had minutes at best before their focus on me intensified. The leader and 2 others maintained positions around me, not actively restraining me, but clearly monitoring for escape attempts. The woman who had recognized me lingered nearby, her expression a disturbing mixture of reverence and hunger. "Need to get supplies," I said, gesturing toward my SUV. "Medicine. For the celebration." I wasn't sure they would understand or care, but a lifetime of reading people's intentions told me that maintaining the illusion of compliance was my only chance. The leader considered this, then nodded toward one of the guards to accompany me. As we moved toward the vehicle, I kept my movements deliberate, non-threatening, despite the adrenaline surging through my system. My guard stood too close, his breath rancid as he watched me rummage through my camping supplies. Under his watchful eye, I collected a water bottle and my first aid kit, innocent enough items that wouldn't raise suspicion. But when he turned slightly to glance at the group's preparations, I quietly palmed my car keys and the small canister of bear spray I kept in my emergency kit. One chance, one desperate gambit for survival. With movements honed by decades of outdoor work, I spun and discharged the bear spray directly into my guard's face. His scream alerted the others, but I was already running for the driver's side door. The keys fumbled in my shaking hands as I heard the enraged shrieks behind me. I managed to unlock and wrench the door open just as the first of my pursuers reached the clearing. The SUV's engine roared to life, and I slammed into reverse, not bothering with the seatbelt, needing only distance. The tires spun on loose dirt before finding purchase, sending the vehicle lurching backward onto the access road. Through the windshield, I saw them coming, not running as humans would, but bounding on all fours with that unnatural agility. The leader launched himself onto the hood as I shifted into drive, his filed teeth gnashing at the glass between us. I swerved hard, dislodging him, then floored the accelerator down the rough forest road, branches whipping against the metal as I careened around curves designed for cautious navigation. In my rearview mirror, impossibly, they followed, not directly on the road, but moving through the forest alongside it, using the trees to maintain that horrifying speed. The rational part of my brain that had cataloged wildlife behavior for decades tried to make sense of their movements, while the primal part screamed for more speed. The SUV jolted violently as the wheels hit potholes and rocks, each impact threatening to send me off the narrow road and into the trees where they waited. A figure dropped from an overhanging branch onto my roof, the impact denting the metal above me. Fingers, no, claws scrabbled at the edges of my windows, searching for purchase. I swerved again, more violently, hearing a shriek as my unwanted passenger was flung into the darkness. The ranger station was miles away, too far to reach before they coordinated to cut me off. I needed another plan fast. The road forked ahead, left leading eventually to the ranger station, right descending toward the highway, but via a steep, treacherous route that had been closed to the public for years. Closed because part of it had collapsed during heavy rains my final season as a ranger. A suicide run under normal circumstances, but these were far from normal. I wrenched the wheel right, plunging down the forbidden path, gambling everything on my memory of exactly where the road had washed out. Behind me, the pursuit faltered momentarily, perhaps surprised by my choice or knowing what lay ahead. The SUV's headlights illuminated a nightmare of overgrown track barely recognizable as a road. Bushes and small trees had reclaimed much of the route, scraping against the sides of my vehicle with a sound like fingernails on metal. The darkness ahead seemed absolute, but I couldn't slow down, not with what followed. Then I saw it, the gap in the road where erosion had carved away the mountain's edge, leaving a 15-foot chasm between sections of the old service road. In daylight, no sane driver would attempt the jump. In darkness, pursued by cannibalistic predators who had once been human, I had no choice. I floored the accelerator, aiming for the narrowest point of the gap, sending a desperate prayer to whatever might be listening. The SUV left the edge at nearly 50 miles per hour, airborne for what felt like eternity. The landing shattered my windshield and deployed every airbag in the vehicle. Pain exploded through my body as we crashed back to earth on the other side of the gap, the front axle snapping with a sound like a gunshot. The SUV skidded sideways, teetering dangerously close to the edge before momentum carried it forward onto safer ground. Through the spider-webbed remains of my windshield, I could see figures gathering on the far side of the chasm, watching, calculating, but unable to follow the route I'd taken. Dawn found me limping along the highway, 5 miles from where I'd abandoned my crippled SUV. A truck driver spotted me and pulled over, his face registering shock at my bloodied appearance. I told him I'd been in an accident. My car had gone off the road, a partial truth that explained my injuries without venturing into the unbelievable. He dropped me at the nearest hospital, where doctors treated me for a broken collarbone, 3 cracked ribs, and numerous lacerations. The physical trauma was the least of my concerns. When I was stable enough to speak with authorities, I tried to report what I'd found near Tower 37. The local sheriff listened politely but skeptically to my sanitized version, that I'd discovered evidence of missing hikers and possible foul play. When I mentioned the tower and the smoke signals, he exchanged glances with his deputy. Tower 37 burned down 8 years ago, Mr. Holloway, he said gently. Nothing left but the concrete foundation. I insisted that I'd been inside it just yesterday, described the observation deck in detail. The sheriff suggested that my injuries and the trauma of my accident might have confused my memories. When I became agitated, a doctor appeared with a sedative. Before I could protest further, I was unconscious, my warnings unheeded. Later, I would learn that 3 search parties sent to the coordinates I'd provided found nothing. No tower, no evidence of camps or fires, no disturbance at my campsite except for my own collapsed tent. Against medical advice, I discharged myself from the hospital 3 days later. My son wanted me to return to Seattle, but I checked into a motel in Portland instead. I spent days combing through missing persons reports for the Mount Hood area, finding dozens of cases that fit the pattern. Hikers, campers, even a park volunteer who had disappeared 5 years ago during what should have been a routine trail maintenance task. I plotted each disappearance on a map and saw the cluster around what had once been Tower 37's territory. 1 week after my escape, I returned to the ranger station, hoping to speak with Jesse, the young ranger who had warned me about incidents near the tower. A different ranger was on duty, who informed me that no one named Jesse worked at that station. When I described her, he shook his head, his expression changing to one of guarded concern. "Sir, that sounds like Jessica Mercer. She was a ranger here, but she went missing on patrol 4 months ago." My blood ran cold as I remembered the woman who had recognized me, who had said I had taught her, before hunger, before change. The pieces were falling into place. Not a random group of feral cannibals, but former rangers, hikers, and volunteers who had somehow been transformed, forming a predatory community in the wilderness they had once protected. And I had trained some of them, including possibly their leader. I went to the police again, this time with my map and the missing persons cases I'd compiled. The detective who met with me was more patient than the sheriff had been, but equally skeptical of my conclusions. "We appreciate citizens taking an interest in cold cases," he said, "but what you're suggesting, some kind of cannibal cult living undetected in a national forest, that's just not plausible, sir." He recommended grief counseling, suggested that losing my wife had perhaps affected me more than I realized. That night in my motel room, I woke to the sound of rhythmic clicking outside my window. When I looked, I saw nothing, but the sound continued, moving around the building's perimeter. I called the front desk, but they reported no disturbances, no unusual visitors. For hours I sat in the dark, my back against the wall furthest from the windows, listening to that sound circle my room like a predator testing defenses. 2 days later, my son arrived to drive me back to Seattle. He was worried, had heard the strange stories I'd been telling local authorities. As we packed my few belongings into his car, I noticed marks on the motel room's windowsill, deep scratches in the wood that hadn't been there when I checked in. My son saw my expression change and followed my gaze, but shrugged it off as normal wear and tear. "You need rest, Dad," he said, his concern genuine. "Whatever happened up there, you're safe now." But I know the truth. They found me somehow, tracked me from the forest to the hospital to the motel. They could have taken me any night, but they didn't. They're waiting, watching, perhaps even now as I write this account of what happened. Sometimes at night, I hear that clicking sound outside my son's house, where I've been staying since returning to Seattle. I've installed new locks, motion sensor lights, even cameras, but technology won't stop what's coming. Yesterday, I received a package with no return address. Inside was my old ranger badge, the one I'd left behind during my escape. Attached was a note written in crude letters, "Tower rebuilt. Waiting for Ranger Frank. Family feast soon." I haven't told my son. What would be the point? The authorities won't believe me, and I've put him in danger simply by being here. Tonight, I'll leave, drive east, away from the forests and mountains, someplace flat and open where I can see them coming from miles away. But deep down, I know there's no real escape. The hunger that changed them is patient, and their territory grows with each passing season. One day, we'll all hear that clicking sound outside our windows. I'm Daniel Carter, 32 years old, and I live in Seattle, a good 3-hour drive from where this whole mess went down. I've always been the outdoorsy type. Hiking, fishing, you name it. So when I got a week off work, I figured I'd head to Portland for a solo camping trip in the Gifford-Pinchot National Forest. Packed up my old Tacoma, threw in some gear, and hit the road with a playlist blaring. The plan was simple. Park near a trailhead, sleep in the truck bed under the stars, and just soak in the quiet. I'd been itching to get away from the city noise, you know? Portland's got that rugged charm, and the forest around it feels like stepping into another world. The drive down was smooth, just me and the hum of the highway. I stopped at a gas station on the outskirts of Portland to grab some snacks, jerky, a Coke, the essentials. The cashier, this older guy with a scruffy beard, gave me a weird look when I mentioned camping solo. "You watch yourself out there," he mumbled, like he knew something I didn't. I brushed it off. People always think they're tougher than they are, right? Got back in the truck and kept going, winding through those twisty forest roads until I found a spot near an old fire road, not too far from a lookout tower I'd seen on the map. Pulling up, I killed the engine and stepped out. The air was crisp, pine-scented, and the sun was dipping low, painting everything orange. It was gorgeous, man, straight out of a postcard. I set up a little camp chair next to the Tacoma, cracked open a beer, and just watched the light fade. That tower loomed in the distance, maybe a mile off, this dark silhouette against the sky. I figured I'd hike up there tomorrow, check out the view. Felt good to be alone. No emails, no phone buzzing, just me and the wilderness. The night settled in quick, and I climbed into the truck bed with my sleeping bag. Stars were popping out, bright as hell, and I remember thinking this was exactly what I needed. No neighbors banging around upstairs, no deadlines. I've slept in my truck plenty of times, got a foam pad and everything, so I was comfy enough. The forest was dead quiet at first, just the occasional rustle of leaves. I popped in some earbuds, let a podcast drone on about true crime, and started drifting off. Then, maybe an hour later, I jolted awake. No idea why, my heart was just pounding. I yanked out the earbuds and sat up, listening hard. Nothing. Total silence, which was somehow worse than if I'd heard a bear or something. I told myself it was nothing. Probably just a dream I couldn't remember, but I couldn't shake this creepy feeling crawling up my spine. I grabbed my flashlight, flicked it on, and scanned the trees. Just shadows and branches, swaying a little in the breeze. That's when I noticed the tower again. It was pitch black out there now, but I swear I saw a faint light flicker up top, like someone was moving around. I squinted, trying to make it out, but it was gone as quick as it came. Weird, sure, but I figured it was a ranger or maybe my eyes playing tricks. I've heard those towers get used sometimes, even if they're old as dirt. Still, it stuck with me, that tiny glow in the dark. I lay back down, pulling the sleeping bag tight. Tried to laugh it off, me spooked by a light. Come on, Dan, you're tougher than that. But I kept one eye cracked open, watching the trees, feeling like the forest wasn't as empty as I'd thought. Sleep didn't come easy after that, and I kept my knife close, just in case. You never know, right? The next morning, I woke up stiff but alive. Sun was up, birds were chirping, and everything felt normal again. I shook off that creepy vibe from the night before, chalked it up to being alone too long, made some coffee on my little stove, sipped it while staring at that tower again. It didn't look so scary in daylight, just a rusty old thing perched on a ridge. I decided I'd hike up there after breakfast. Something about it was pulling me in, like a dare I couldn't back down from. Packed a bag with water, a sandwich, and my phone, then locked the truck. The trail was overgrown but doable, winding through thick pines. I kept thinking about that light, wondering if I'd see anything up close. Maybe a ranger, maybe something else. Guess I was about to find out. The hike to the lookout tower started off fine. Just me crunching through pine needles, the sun filtering through the trees. I'm no stranger to trails, but this one felt off, like it hadn't been walked in years. Roots snaked across the path, and I nearly ate dirt twice tripping over them. My phone signal was already gone. Figures, out here in the middle of nowhere, so I was relying on an old map I'd stuffed in my bag. The tower was closer now, jutting up like a skeleton against the sky, and I kept pushing forward, sweat sticking my shirt to my back. About halfway up, I stopped to catch my breath and chug some water. That's when I saw it. A rusted sign nailed to a tree, half covered in moss. Ranger Station 14, closed. It read, with a date scratched out below it. Closed? That didn't sit right. If no one was supposed to be up there, what was that light I saw last night? I wiped my face with my sleeve and kept going, telling myself it was probably squatters or some kids messing around. Still, my gut was starting to twist. When I finally reached the tower, it was a wreck. The wooden stairs creaked under my boots, and the whole thing swayed like it might collapse. Paint peeled off in strips, and the windows up top were cracked, some boarded up. I called out, "Hey, anyone here?" Just to be polite, but all I got back was the wind whistling through the gaps. I climbed anyway, because at that point, I was too stubborn to turn back. Each step groaned, and I gripped the railing tight, half expecting it to snap. Up top, the view was killer, miles of green stretching out toward Portland, but the inside was a mess. Dusty maps pinned to the walls, a busted chair, and a sleeping bag rolled up in the corner. Someone had been here, no question. I poked around, found a half-empty water bottle and some cigarette butts. Fresh ones, too. The filters weren't weathered. My brain was spinning. Maybe a ranger still used this place off the books? Or maybe it was something weirder. I didn't like it either way. I snapped a few pics with my phone, figuring I'd show my buddy Jake back in Seattle. He's into creepy stuff like this. Then I heard it, a low thud, like something heavy dropping below the tower. I froze, leaning over the edge to look down. Nothing, just the trees and my Tacoma glinting faintly in the distance. "Get a grip, Dan," I muttered, but my hands were clammy now. I decided I'd head back, eat lunch, and figure out my next move. The hike down was faster, mostly because I was rattled and didn't stop to sightsee. Back at the truck, I unlocked it and tossed my bag in the cab. That's when I noticed the scratches, long, jagged marks along the driver's side door. Not deep, but fresh, like something sharp dragged across it while I was gone. I ran my fingers over them, heart kicking up again. Could have been a branch, sure, but it didn't feel random. I glanced around, but the forest was still, just birds and a breeze. I climbed into the truck bed to eat my sandwich, trying to shake off the jitters. Mid-bite, I spotted movement up by the tower, someone stepping out from behind it, too far to make out details. I grabbed my binoculars, but by the time I focused, they were gone. "What the hell?" I said out loud, like that'd make it less freaky. Probably a hiker, I told myself, but I wasn't buying it. That tower was too isolated, and no one else's car was around. I decided to stick close to the truck for the afternoon, no more wandering. Set up my chair again, cracked another beer, and kept an eye on the ridge. The scratches bugged me though. I've parked in tight spots before, and yeah, branches can nick paint, but these felt deliberate. Like something, or someone, wanted me to know they'd been here. I started second-guessing the solo trip idea, wondering if I should have dragged Jake along. By dusk, I was antsy. The forest was getting that heavy, quiet feel again, and I kept glancing at the tower. No lights this time, but I couldn't shake the sense I was being watched. I climbed into the truck bed early, locked the cab, and settled in. Figured I'd sleep it off, head back to Portland in the morning if it got worse. But as I lay there, eyes on the dark, I couldn't stop thinking about those cigarette butts and that thud. Something was out there, and it wasn't just my imagination. I'm lying in the truck bed, staring at the stars through the canopy, when the first real scare hits. It's late, maybe midnight, and I'm half asleep, clutching my knife like it's a damn teddy bear. Then, out of nowhere, the truck rocks. Not a little sway, but a hard jolt, like something slammed into it. I bolt upright, heart hammering, and fumble for my flashlight. The beam cuts through the dark, bouncing off trees, but I don't see a thing. Just stillness. "Who's there?" I yell, voice cracking a bit. Nothing answers, but the air feels thick now, heavy with something disturbing. I climb out, boots hitting the dirt, and circle the Tacoma. That's when I spot it. New scratches, deeper this time, gouged into the tailgate. They're fresh, metal gleaming under my light, and my stomach drops. No way a branch did this. I swing the beam around, shouting again, "I've got a knife, asshole," hoping I sound tougher than I feel. The forest stays quiet, but it's not peaceful anymore. It's the kind of silence that screams trouble. Back in the truck bed, I'm wide awake now, every nerve on edge. I keep the flashlight on, propped up so it lights the area around me. That's when I hear the breathing, heavy, ragged, coming from the trees maybe 20 feet away. I aim the light, expecting a bear or a cougar, but the beam catches something worse. A figure, tall and hunched, ducks behind a pine. Not an animal. Too upright, too deliberate. My mouth goes dry, and I grip the knife so hard my knuckles ache. I tell myself it's a person, maybe some creep camping nearby, but that doesn't explain the scratches or the way it moved. Fast, unnatural, like it didn't belong out here. I'm sweating despite the cold, and I start thinking about those old stories, the ones Jake loves about rangers going missing in these woods. I always laugh them off, but now they feel too real. I slide the knife under my pillow and hunker down, eyes locked on the trees. Hours drag by, and I don't sleep. The breathing stops, but I keep hearing twigs snap, faint and random, like whatever's out there is circling. Around 3 a.m., I catch it again, that figure, closer now, slipping between trees. My light hits it for a split second, pale skin, too thin, eyes glinting like a cat's. Then it's gone. I'm shaking, man, full-on horror movie vibes, and I'm stuck wondering if I'm losing it or if something's really hunting me. By dawn, I'm a wreck, but the sunlight helps. I climb out, check the truck, more scratches, all over the hood now, like it's been clawed to hell. I'm done playing tough guy. I grab my map, plotting the fastest way back to Portland, when I hear boots crunching behind me. I spin around, knife out, and there's a guy, normal-looking, mid-40s, wearing a faded ranger jacket. "Whoa, easy," he says, hands up. "Saw your truck from the tower. You okay?" I lower the knife, but I'm not buying the friendly act. "You been up there all night?" I ask, voice sharp. He nods, says he's a park ranger, name's Tom Ellis, checking trails. I mention the light, the scratches, the figure. He frowns, says it's probably vandals or a bear, but his eyes flicker, like he's hiding something. "You should head out," he tells me. "Weather's turning. It's clear skies, though, and I call him on it." He just shrugs, starts walking back toward the tower. I'm torn. Part of me wants to bolt, but I'm pissed, too. Pissed at being scared, at not knowing what's going on. I ask Tom if he's got a radio, maybe call for backup. He says it's busted, but I can follow him to the tower if I want. Something's off, his story's too neat, and those scratches aren't bear marks. I've seen claw marks before. These are precise, almost like a message. I grab my bag, lock the truck, and follow him, keeping my distance. The trail's quiet, but I feel eyes on me the whole way. Tom's ahead, humming some tune, acting like this is a Sunday stroll. I'm clutching my knife, scanning the trees, waiting for that pale thing to lunge out. Whatever's happening, it's not over, and I'm starting to think Tom knows more than he's letting on. I'm trailing Tom up the trail, my knife still in hand, and the forest feels like it's closing in. He's ahead, acting way too calm, and I'm kicking myself for following him. The tower's in sight now, but every step makes my skin crawl, like something's watching, waiting. I glance back at my truck, barely visible through the trees, and wonder if I should just run for it. Then Tom stops dead, head tilted like he's listening. "You hear that?" he asks, voice low. I don't, but the hairs on my neck stand up anyway. Before I can answer, the ground shakes, not an earthquake, but a thudding, like something massive moving fast. Tom curses, grabs my arm, and yanks me toward the tower. "Move," he shouts, and I'm stumbling after him, adrenaline spiking. We hit the stairs, and I hear it now, crashing through the brush, heavy and close. I don't look back. I just haul ass up those rickety steps, the whole structure groaning under us. Tom's ahead, fumbling with a key at the door. Inside, he slams it shut and bolts it, panting. I'm doubled over, sucking air, when I finally see it through the cracked window. That pale, lanky thing from last night, tearing through the clearing below. It's no bear, no person, just wrong. All long limbs and glowing eyes, moving like a spider on speed. My stomach lurches, and I yell, "What the hell is that?" Tom's pale, muttering about old ranger logs, something they never reported. "It's been here years," he says. "Doesn't leave survivors." I'm freaking out. Man, pure horror pumping through me. The thing circles the tower, clawing at the base, and the wood splinters like it's nothing. Tom grabs a rifle from a locker, rusted, but loaded, and shoves a flare gun at me. "If it gets in, use this," he says. I nod, hands shaking, but I'm already thinking escape. The truck's my shot. I've got keys, gas, and a straight shot to Portland if I can make it. The thing starts climbing, nails scraping metal, and the tower sways. Tom fires out the window, shots echoing, but it barely flinches, just screeches, This awful, ear-splitting sound. I'm done waiting. I kick open a side hatch, spot the ladder down the back, and tell Tom, I'm going for the truck. He yells something about it being suicide, but I'm already sliding down, flare gun tucked in my waistband, knife in my pocket. I hit the ground running, legs burning, as that thing drops from the tower behind me. It's fast, too fast, and I hear it gaining, snapping branches like twigs. I dodge through trees, zigzagging, praying I don't trip. My truck's in sight, keys jangling in my hand, when I feel hot breath on my neck. I spin, fire the flare point blank. Bam, right in its face. It shrieks, staggers back, and I bolt, slamming into the driver's door. I crank the engine, tires spinning in dirt, and peel out. The thing's back up, lunging, but I floor it, fishtailing down the fire road. Rear view mirror shows it chasing, those eyes locked on me, but the Tacoma's got juice. I'm pulling away. My heart's in my throat, sweat stinging my eyes, and I don't stop. Not for miles, not till the forest thins and I hit pavement. I'm shaking, gripping the wheel like it's my lifeline. When I glance back, no sign of it. Just trees and dust. I'm thinking Tom's toast. No way he held it off with that junk rifle. I keep driving, aiming for Portland, every mile feeling like a gamble. The truck's scratched to hell, but it's running, and I'm alive, for now. I pull into a gas station on the edge of town, hands still trembling as I kill the engine. People are staring. Guess I look like a wreck, but I don't care. I'm safe, right? Sun's up, cars are humming by, and that thing's back in the woods. I grab my phone, no signal still, and stumble inside for a coffee, trying to piece together what just happened. But I can't shake this gnawing, scary feeling it's not over. I'm slumped in a booth at the gas station, sipping burnt coffee, when the clerk, a kid, maybe 19, asks if I'm okay. I laugh, this shaky, messed up sound, and say, yeah, just a rough night. I don't tell him about the tower, Tom, or that thing. Nobody'd believe me. My phone's got one bar now, so I text Jake. Camping sucked. Call me. He's gonna think I'm nuts when I spill this, but I need someone to hear it, you know? I'm replaying it all. The scratches, the figure, Tom's weird vibe. Should have left after the first night, man. That's my mistake, thinking I could tough it out. I finish the coffee, head back to the truck, and check the damage. Claw marks everywhere, deep and jagged. I snap pics, figuring I'll need proof, even if it's just for myself. The cashier's words from yesterday echo. Watch yourself out there. Wish I'd listened. Driving into Portland, I'm calming down, radio blasting to drown out my head. I find a cheap motel, park, and lug my bag inside. Shower's hot, bed's lumpy, but it's civilization. I'll take it. I crash hard, dreaming of those glowing eyes, waking up soaked in sweat. It's noon now, and I'm starving, so I hit a diner down the street. Bacon and eggs never tasted so good, like I'm alive for real this time. Back at the motel, I call Jake. He picks up. All dude, what happened? I tell him everything. Slow, shaky, the whole disturbing mess. He's quiet, then says, You sure you didn't just see a bear? I snap. Bears don't climb towers, man. He laughs, but I hear the worry. I hang up, feeling dumb for getting mad, and decide I'll head back to Seattle tomorrow. Need my own bed, my own space. Evening rolls in, and I'm packing up when there's a knock. I open the door. Nobody's there. Just a folded paper on the mat. I grab it, unfold it, and my blood runs cold. It's a ranger log, dated last week. Tom Ellis, missing. Last seen at Station 14. My hands shake. This wasn't in the tower. I'd have seen it. Someone left it here, but how? I scan the parking lot. Nothing but shadows. I grab my stuff, check out fast, and jump in the truck. Driving out of Portland, I keep checking the mirrors. No pale thing, no glowing eyes. But that log's burned in my brain. Tom's dead, or worse, and I'm the idiot who walked away thinking I'd won. I hit the highway, pushing 80, when my phone buzzes, Jake again. I answer, but it's not him. Static, then a voice, low and garbled. You shouldn't have left him. I drop the phone, swerve, nearly clip a semi. It's on the floor, still hissing static, and I don't pick it up, just keep driving, heart pounding. Seattle's close, but I'm not safe. That thing, or whatever's tied to it, isn't done with me. I should have stayed, helped Tom, or never gone at all. Now I'm marked, and this tragedy's mine to carry. I pull into my driveway at dawn, truck rattling, me a mess. I lock every door, collapse on the couch, knife in hand. Sleep's not coming. Not tonight. Maybe not ever. I keep seeing Tom's face, those claws, that voice. It's my fault he's gone, and whatever's out there knows where I am now. Days later, I hear from a buddy in Portland. Cops found the tower burned out. No sign of Tom, just ash and twisted metal. They're calling it a freak fire, but I know better. I left him to die, and that mistake's gonna haunt me. Something's still out there, and I'm next. I'm Lauren Hayes, 28 years old, and I live in Eugene, about 2 hours south of where this whole disaster went down. I'm a nurse, so my days are usually spent stitching up chaos. But I've got this thing for nature. Keeps me sane, you know? Last month, I snagged a long weekend and decided to camp up near Portland in the Tillamook State Forest. Packed my Jeep with gear, a cooler, and my dog, Max, a scrappy mutt who's my shadow. Plan was to park at a trailhead, set up a tent, and just breathe for once. The drive up was easy, all winding roads and golden leaves since it's fall now. I stopped at a diner just outside Portland for a burger, greasy, perfect, with Max begging for fries under the table. The waitress, this older lady with a smoker's rasp, asked where I was headed. Tillamook, I said, and she gave me this look like I'd said I was camping on the moon. Be careful, she muttered, topping off my coffee. I grinned. People always overestimate the woods. I hit the forest by late afternoon, found a spot off a gravel road near Jones Creek. It's quiet, tucked between hills, with a ranger station a few miles west I'd scoped on the map. I parked the Jeep, let Max out to sniff around, and pitched my tent close to the driver's side. Wanted that door handy if it rained. The air was sharp, earthy, and I built a little fire, cracking open a beer while Max chewed a stick. Felt good, man, like the world finally slowed down. Sunset hit fast, turning the trees into these dark, jagged shapes. I zipped Max into the tent with me. He's a furnace, and we settled in. I've camped alone plenty, so I wasn't fazed, just cozy with my lantern and a paperback. Max growled once, low and quick, but I shushed him, probably a deer or something. I flicked off the light, let the fire's crackle fade outside, and drifted off with him curled up by my feet. Middle of the night, I wake up to Max snarling, full-on, teeth-bared snarling. I sit up, groggy, and grab my flashlight. He's staring at the tent flap, hackles up, and I whisper, "What's wrong, buddy?" No answer, just this creepy stillness outside. I unzip the flap a crack, shine the light. Nothing but trees and the Jeep, glinting under the moon. Max calms down, but I'm wide awake now, that prickly feeling you get when something's off. I step out, barefoot on the cold ground, and check around. The fire's dead, just embers, and the forest is silent. No crickets, no owls, nada. I chalk it up to Max being dramatic. He spooked me over squirrels before, but then I see it. The Jeep's hood is popped open. Not wide, just enough to notice. I know I locked it, always do. My stomach flips, and I grab the tire iron from my gear, feeling dumb, but not dumb enough to ignore it. I creep over, Max at my heels, and peek under the hood. Nothing's cut or missing. Battery's fine, wires intact, but it's freaky as hell. I slam it shut, lock it again, and scan the trees. That ranger station pops into my head. Maybe someone's around, playing a prank? I've heard about weirdos in these woods, but this feels too quiet, too deliberate. I tell Max, we're fine, like I'm convincing myself. Back in the tent, I don't sleep much. Max stays alert, ears twitching, and I keep the tire iron close. Morning comes slow, gray light seeping through the nylon. I crawl out, brew coffee, and check the Jeep again. No new surprises, but I'm rattled. Max is pacing, sniffing the air, and I'm starting to think this trip might have been a bad call. I decide to hike to that ranger station after breakfast, get some answers, maybe a signal from my phone, which is dead out here. I pack a bag, leash Max, and lock the Jeep tight. The trail's narrow, winding west, and I keep looking over my shoulder, that creepy vibe sticking to me like damp clothes. Whatever's going on, I'm not letting it ruin my weekend, not yet. I'm trudging along the trail to the ranger station, Max tugging at the leash like he's on a mission. The forest is thick here, all mossy logs and ferns, but it's too quiet. No birds, just the crunch of my boots. My phone's still a brick in my pocket, no bars, so I'm hoping the station's got a radio or at least a map that's not from the 90s. The Jeep's hood thing keeps nagging at me. Nobody's out here but me, right? I shake it off, tell Max, "You're my lookout, bud," and he wags his tail like he gets it. About a mile in, the trail splits. Left goes uphill, right dips toward the creek. No signs, of course, because why would there be? I pick left, figuring higher ground means the station, but the path gets messy fast, overgrown, with branches snagging my jacket. Max starts whining, pulling back, and I'm like, "Come on, dude, we're almost there." But then I see it, a boot print in the mud, fresh, way bigger than mine. My nurse brain kicks in, someone's around, maybe hurt, needing help. Or maybe not. I keep going, tire iron in my free hand, but now I'm jumpy. The trees thin out, and there's the station, a squat, weather-beaten cabin with a sagging porch. Windows are dark, no smoke from the chimney. I call out, "Hello? Ranger around." Nothing but my echo. Max growls, low and steady, and I tighten my grip. The door's ajar, creaking in the breeze, and I'm torn. Go in or head back. Curiosity wins, because I'm an idiot like that. Inside, it's a mess. Papers scattered, a chair tipped over, dust everywhere. Smells like mildew and something sour. I spot a desk with a logbook, flip it open. Last entries weeks old. Jones Creek Patrol, all clear. No names, no updates. Max is sniffing like crazy, hackles up, and I mutter, "What's got you spooked?" Then I see the wall, a map pinned up, red excess marking spots near my campsite. My heart skips. What's that about? I'm digging through drawers for a radio when Max barks, sharp, loud, at the window. I spin around, tire iron raised, and catch a glimpse outside. Someone ducking behind a tree, fast. Not a ranger, not in that dirty flannel. "Hey," I shout, but they're gone. My pulse is racing now, and I'm thinking I should have stayed by the Jeep. Max is losing it, barking at the door, and I drag him back, trying to think straight. I grab the map, stuff it in my bag. Those XS are too close to home. Decide to bail, get back to camp, maybe pack up if this gets weirder. Outside, the air's heavier, like a storm's brewing, but the sky's clear. Max is pulling hard, and I let him lead, jogging down the trail. Halfway back, I trip over something, a rope stretched tight across the path. I hit the dirt, scrape my knee, and Max yelps, spinning around like he's cornered. I untangle myself, cursing, and check the rope. It's new, tied between trees, not some old trap. Someone set this, and not for deer. I'm on my feet fast, scanning the woods, but it's just shadows and silence. Creepy as hell. Max is trembling now, and I'm starting to feel it too, that disturbing itch like I'm not alone. "We're out of here," I tell him, but my voice shakes. Back at the Jeep, I'm rattled but relieved. Everything's how I left it, no new surprises. I unlock it, toss the map inside, and let Max jump in the passenger seat. He's still antsy, sniffing the air, and I'm debating, stay another night or drive out now? Sun's dropping fast, and I don't love the idea of navigating these roads in the dark. I start a fire, figuring I'll eat. Think it over, keep Max close. Dinner's just ramen, but I barely taste it, too busy watching the trees. The rope, the XS, that figure, it's piling up, and I'm not liking the math. Max growls again, staring past the fire, and I grab the tire iron, heart thudding. Something's moving out there, rustling leaves, but it's too dark to see. I tell myself it's a raccoon, but deep down, I know I'm lying. I'm sitting by the fire, tire iron in one hand, Max pressed against my leg, when the rustling stops. Just dead silence, the kind that makes your ears ring. He's growling low, eyes locked on the dark beyond the flames, and I'm straining to see anything. Then it hits, a smell, sharp and rotten, like roadkill left in the sun. My stomach twists, and I whisper, "What the hell is that?" Max's hackles are up, and I'm on my feet, gripping the iron like it's my last lifeline. The fire's flickering, throwing shadows everywhere, when I hear it. Boots, slow and deliberate, crunching closer. Not an animal, no way. I swing the flashlight around, beam cutting through the night, and catch a glint. Eyes, too high up, staring back. "Who's there?" I yell, voice cracking, but they don't answer, just step into the light. It's a guy, tall, scruffy, in a stained ranger jacket. He's holding an axe, casual-like, and my heart slams into my ribs. Evening, he says, voice gravelly, like he smoked a pack today. Lost my way. Saw your fire. Max is snarling now, lunging, but I yank him back. Something's off. This dude's too calm, and that axe isn't for firewood. I force a smile, say, yeah, campsite's mine. You need help. He just stares, eyes blank, then nods toward the Jeep. Nice rig. You alone. My skin's crawling. Horror movie vibes all over this. I lie quick. Nah, my boyfriend's in the tent, just grabbing something. He tilts his head, like he's testing me, and steps closer. The smell's stronger now, and I see it. His jacket's torn, crusted with something dark. Blood? I'm backing up, Max barking like crazy, when he swings the axe. Not at me, but into the ground, hard. Stay put, he says, and I freeze, mind racing. This guy's unhinged. I'm about to bolt when he lunges, fast, way faster than he looks, and grabs my arm. I swing the tire iron, catch his shoulder, and he grunts, letting go. Run, Max. I scream, and we're off, crashing through the brush. He's yelling behind me, words I can't make out, and I hear the axe thunk into a tree. Too close. My lungs burn, but I don't stop, dodging roots, aiming for the Jeep. I hit the clearing, fumble the keys, and Max jumps in as I slam the door. The engine roars, but he's there, banging on the hood, axe raised. I floor it, tires spinning, and clip him. He stumbles, cursing, but I'm gone, tearing down the gravel road. My hands are shaking, Max is whining, and I'm thinking, this is it, this is how it ends. But I keep driving, headlights bouncing off trees. Miles later, I slow down, panting, checking the mirrors, nothing but dark. The Jeep's rattling, something's loose under the hood, but I don't care, I'm alive. I pull over, hands trembling as I pet Max, muttering, we're okay, bud. But then I see it, a folded paper tucked under the wiper. I grab it, unfold it, scrawled in marker. You shouldn't be here. My blood runs cold, this wasn't random. I'm back on the road, pushing toward Portland, when the Jeep sputters, hood's acting up again. I limp into a turnout, pop it open, and freeze. Wires are cut, clean slices, not frayed. Someone messed with it before that guy showed up. My phone's still dead, Max is pacing in the cab, and I'm stranded, miles from help, with that creepy note burning a hole in my pocket. I'm under the hood, trying to jury-rig something, when headlights flare behind me. Slow, creeping closer. I grab the tire iron, Max growling again, and turn to face it. A truck, beat up, engine rumbling. The window rolls down, and it's him, the Ranger, axe resting on the dash, grinning like he's won. Told you to stay put, he says, and I realize this isn't just scary. It's a nightmare I can't wake up from. I'm standing there, tire iron raised, Max barking his head off in the Jeep, as this psycho Ranger leans out his truck window, grinning like a jackal. The axe is glinting on his dash, and I'm thinking, this is it, Lauren, you're done. My Jeep's coughing smoke, wires sliced, no chance of outrunning him. He revs his engine, and I bolt, grab Max's leash, dive into the trees, and just run. Branches slap my face, but I don't care. I hear his door slam, boots hitting gravel, and he's coming. Max is ahead, pulling hard, and I'm stumbling through the dark, praying we hit a road or something. The forest is a maze, roots, rocks, total chaos, and my flashlight's back in the Jeep, useless now. I hear him behind me, crashing through, yelling, can't hide, girl. My lungs are screaming, but I push harder, ducking low, weaving between pines. That rotten smell's back, thick and choking, and it's all I can do not to puke. We hit a slope, steep and slick with leaves. I slip, slide halfway down, and Max yelps as he tumbles with me. I land hard, knee throbbing, but I'm up fast, dragging him behind a fallen log. My hands are shaking, dirt caked, and I clamp a hand over Max's muzzle. Quiet, buddy, please. The Ranger's close now, boots crunching, and I peek out. He's got a flashlight, sweeping it slow, axe dangling in his other hand. My heart's pounding so loud I swear he'll hear it. He stops, maybe 10 feet away, sniffing the air like a damn dog. I know you're here, he growls, and I'm holding my breath, tire iron slick with sweat. Max tenses, but I keep him still, praying he doesn't lunge. The beam swings over us, misses by inches, and he curses, stomps off downhill. I wait, counting seconds, till his light fades. No time to think. I'm up, hobbling with Max toward where I think the creek is, hoping it leads somewhere. I hear water after what feels like forever. Jones Creek, shallow but fast. I wade in, ice cold up to my shins, Max splashing beside me. It's a gamble, covers our tracks, but I'm soaked, shivering, and he could still be close. I keep moving downstream, teeth chattering, till I spot lights, headlights, faint through the trees. A road. I scramble up the bank, Max shaking off water and flag down the car, an old pickup, driven by some guy in a flannel cap. He's skeptical, squinting at me like I'm a ghost, but I'm sobbing. Please, help. He's after me. Max jumps in the bed, and the guy, calls himself Ray, lets me climb in, no questions. We peel out, and I'm watching the trees, expecting that ranger to lunge out any second. Ray's asking what happened, and I spill it. Jeep? Acts the note. He's quiet, then says, folks go missing out here sometimes. Rangers don't always talk about it. My stomach drops. Great, real comforting. We hit Portland's edge, streetlights blazing, and I'm still shaking, Max pressed against me in the truck bed. Ray drops us at a gas station, says he'll call a tow for my Jeep, but I'm not going back for it. Not tonight. I thank him, grab Max, and limp inside, soaking wet, tire iron still clutched like a lifeline. The clerk's staring, but I don't care. I'm alive, and that's enough for now. I'm warming up with shitty coffee, Max at my feet, when Ray comes back. Says the tow's on its way, but he found something by the creek, a ranger badge, half buried, name scratched off. He hands it to me, and I feel sick. This isn't over. That guy's still out there, and I've got this creepy hunch he knows I made it out. I'm plotting my next move, call a friend, get to Eugene, when the station's phone rings. Clerk answers, looks at me, says, it's for you. My blood freezes. Who even knows I'm here? I take it, voice trembling, hello. Static, then that gravelly voice. You're a tough one. I drop the receiver, grab Max, and run for Ray's truck. He's still outside. Thank God. We've got to move now. Ray's driving me to a motel, Max in my lap, and I'm a mess. Jumpy, paranoid, checking every shadow. That phone call's looping in my head. How'd he find me? I'm clutching the badge, its edges digging into my palm, and I tell Ray he's not done. Ray nods, grim, says, some rangers go rogue out there. Heard stories, never thought they were real. I'm kicking myself, should have stayed home, watched Netflix, anything but this horror show. We pull into the motel, neon sign buzzing, and I book a room. Cash, no ID, just in case. Ray sticks around, says he'll wait till I'm settled. I shower, scalding hot, but it doesn't wash off the fear. Max is pacing, growling at the window, and I'm thinking I made a dumb move, leaving the Jeep, running blind. If I'd stayed, fought harder, maybe I'd have ended it. Instead, I'm a sitting duck. I crash on the bed, tire iron by my pillow, Max curled up close. Sleeps fitful, dreams of axes, that smell, his voice. I wake up to scratching, not Max, but outside on the door. My heart's in my throat, and I grab the iron, nudge the curtain aside. Nothing, just the parking lot, Ray's truck gone. But there's a mark on the door, fresh gouges, like from an axe. I'm shaking, telling Max, we're leaving, because this place isn't safe. I pack fast, call a cab. Eugene's my only shot now. Waiting, I check the badge again, and notice something under the grime. A date, last year, and Tillamook, etched faint. This guy's been at it a while, and I'm just the latest on his list. Cab pulls up, I jump in with Max, and we're off, Portland shrinking behind me. I'm thinking I dodged a bullet, but it feels hollow. Back home, I'm a wreck, doors locked, lights on, Max on edge. I call my boss, take sick leave, can't even explain why. Days later, Ray texts, Jeep's towed, but they found blood in the trunk, not mine. Cops think it's animal, but I know better. I should have burned that badge, reported it, something. My mistake was running without proof, leaving him free. A week passes, and I'm starting to breathe. Maybe he's moved on. Then the mail comes. No stamp, just an envelope with my name. Inside's a photo, me, by the Jeep, that first night, snapped from the trees. My hands shake, and Max growls at the window. I call the cops, but they're skeptical, say it's a prank. I know it's not. Nights get worse, scratching outside, Max barking, me clutching the tire iron. One morning, I find paw prints by the porch, Not Max's, too big, smeared with that rotten stink. Cops brush it off again, but I'm done waiting. I'm moving, leaving Eugene, starting over. That ranger's out there, and I handed him my life by not fighting back. Months later, I'm in a new city, new job, Max still my shadow. I hear on the news, hiker missing in Tillamook, no trace. My gut twists. It's him, and I could have stopped it. That photo's burned in my brain, a tragedy I can't shake. I keep the tire iron close, check the locks, because I know he's still hunting. I'm alive, but it's not a win, it's a curse. I left a monster loose, and every creak in the night reminds me, this isn't over. He'll find me, or someone else, and all I've got left is guilt and a dog who knows something's wrong. I'm Ethan Brooks, 35 years old, and I live in Salem, about an hour south of where this nightmare kicked off. I'm a mechanic by trade, always tinkering with engines, but I've got a soft spot for the woods. Keeps me grounded when life gets loud. Last fall, I figured I'd take my old Bronco up to the Mount Hood National Forest near Portland for a solo trip. Loaded it with tools, a sleeping bag, and enough snacks to last a week. Plan was to park off a back road, sleep in the rig, and just unplug for a bit. The drive up was smooth, highway humming, leaves turning red and gold. I stopped at a gas station outside Portland for fuel and a coffee. The guy behind the counter, some wiry dude with a faded tattoo, asked where I was headed. Mount Hood, I said, and he smirked like I'd told a bad joke. Good luck, he grunted, sliding my change over. I laughed it off. People always act like the forest is haunted or something. I rolled into the forest by midday, found a spot near Zigzag River, quiet, tucked away, with a clear view of the ridge. Parked the Bronco, popped the tailgate, and set up a camp chair. The air was crisp, smelled like pine and wet earth, and I cracked a soda, just soaking it in. Mount Hood loomed in the distance, all snow-capped and postcard perfect. Felt like I'd hit the reset button, you know? I spent the afternoon messing with the Bronco, tightened a loose bolt, checked the oil, the usual. I've slept in it plenty, got a mattress pad rigged up in the back, so I wasn't worried about comfort. Sun started dipping, and I built a small fire, roasting a hot dog on a stick like a kid. The river was gurgling nearby, and I was thinking this was exactly what I needed. No grease under my nails, no deadlines. Night fell fast, and I climbed into the Bronco, locking the doors out of habit. Rolled down a window a crack for air, pulled the sleeping bag over me, and let the river's sound lull me. I'm a light sleeper, years of hearing shop noises, but it was peaceful, just the water and a faint breeze. Drifted off quick, feeling like king of the damn world. I wake up to a jolt. The Bronco rocks, hard, like something hit it. I'm up, groggy, grabbing my flashlight from the dash. Clock says 2 a.m., and my heart's already thumping. I flick the beam out the window. Trees, river, nothing else. Probably a deer. I mutter, but it doesn't feel right. I listen hard, and there's this low hum. Not the river, something mechanical, faint but steady. Creepy as hell out here. I step out, boots on, flashlight sweeping. The Bronco's fine, no dents, no scratches, but that hum's louder now, coming from up the ridge. I've got a wrench in my back pocket, just in case, and I'm thinking maybe a generator? Rangers use them sometimes. I scan the ridge, spot a faint glow, orange, flickering, not natural. My gut's telling me to stay put, but I'm too stubborn to listen. Back in the Bronco, I can't shake it. That hum, that light. I tell myself it's nothing, climb back into the sleeping bag, but sleep's gone. The hum's buzzing in my skull, and I keep picturing something up there, watching. I've heard stories, old logging camps, weird stuff in these woods, but I always figured they were bull. Now I'm not so sure. Morning hits, gray and cold, and I'm up early, brewing coffee on a camp stove. The hum's gone, ridge looks normal, but I'm off balance, like I missed a step. I decide I'll hike up there after breakfast, check it out, prove it's just my head messing with me. Lock the Bronco, grab my wrench and water, and head out. Whatever's up there, I'm not letting it ruin my trip, not yet anyway. I'm hiking up the ridge, wrench tucked in my pocket, the river fading behind me as the trees get thicker. The trail's rough, more like a deer path, all rocks and roots, and I'm sweating despite the chill. That glow I saw last night stuck in my head. and I'm half hoping it's just some camper's fire pit. My boots crunch loud in the quiet, and I'm starting to wish I'd brought more than a wrench. Maybe that old hunting knife I keep in the shop. About a half-mile up, I hit a clearing, old logging site, judging by the stumps and rusted chain tangled in the dirt. The hum's back, faint but real, vibrating under my feet. I freeze, scanning around, and spot it, a metal hatch, flush with the ground, like a storm cellar. It's weathered, but the padlock's shiny new. My mechanic brain kicks in. Someone's been here, and not years ago. I mutter, "What the hell's this?" and nudge it with my boot. Solid, locked tight. I'm torn. Pry it open or head back. I've got tools in the Bronco. Could bust that lock, but something's off. The air's heavy, like before a storm, and I catch a whiff of oil. Sharp, industrial. I kneel, run my fingers along the edge, and find scratches. Deep, fresh, like claw marks but too even. My gut's twisting now, that creepy feeling creeping up my spine. I stand, deciding I'll grab my crowbar, when the hum spikes, loud, rattling my teeth. I stumble back, heart pounding, as the hatch shakes, like something's pushing from below. I'm no coward, but I'm not stupid. I bolt, crashing downhill, wrench banging against my thigh. The hum fades as I go, but I don't stop till I'm back at the Bronco, panting like I ran a marathon. I lean on the hood, catching my breath, and check the rig. Nothing touched, but I'm rattled, man. I pop the tailgate, dig out the crowbar, and sit there, staring up the ridge. Part of me wants to go back, crack that hatch open. Probably just a pump or something, right? But those scratches, that hum, they're not normal. I've fixed enough machines to know when something's wrong, and this feels disturbing, like I stumbled into someone's secret. I crack a soda, hands shaky, and try to talk myself down. By afternoon, I'm pacing, debating. The smart move's packing up, hitting Portland, but I'm pissed. Pissed I'm spooked. Pissed I don't know what's up there. I decide I'll stay one more night, scope it out at dusk, better light, less shadows. I tinker with the Bronco's carburetor to kill time, keeping the crowbar close. Max torque, steady hands, keeps me sane, you know? Dusk rolls in, and I'm geared up, crowbar, flashlight, wrench in my belt. I lock the Bronco, head back up, slower this time. The hum's there again, steady, and I'm hyper-aware, every snap, every gust. I hit the clearing, and the hatch is still locked, but now there's a smear on it. Dark, wet, like grease or blood. I shine the light, and my stomach drops. Fingerprints, smeared in it. Human, but too big. I'm backing off, thinking I've seen enough, when I hear boots, not mine, heavy, coming from the trees. I spin, flashlight catching a figure, tall, in a ranger coat, face shadowed. "You lost," he calls, voice flat. I grip the crowbar, say, "Just hiking," but he's walking closer, slow, like he's got all night. My pulse is racing. He's got a badge, but it's dull, scratched, and that oil smells on him. I'm ready to book it, but he stops, points at the hatch. "Stay away from that," he says, and there's this edge to it, like a warning or a threat. I nod, playing dumb, but my brain's screaming, something's seriously wrong here. He turns, heads back into the trees, and I'm left standing there, crowbar slick with sweat, wondering what I just stepped into. I'm frozen in that clearing, crowbar in hand, watching that ranger vanish into the trees. The hum's louder now, pulsing like a heartbeat under my boots, and that smear on the hatch is glinting wet in my flashlight beam. I'm telling myself to get out, but my legs won't move, stubborn as hell. That's me. Then it happens. The hatch jolts, a hard bang from below, and I stumble back, nearly dropping the light. Whatever's down there, it's awake, and I'm way too close. I turn to run, but the ranger's back, silent, stepping out from the pines, blocking my path. No warning this time. He's got a pistol, old and scratched, aimed loose at my chest. "Told you to stay away," he says, voice like gravel. My mouth's dry, and I raise the crowbar slow, saying, "Look, man, I'm leaving, all right?" He doesn't budge, just cocks his head, eyes glinting weird, like they're catching light that's not there. The hatch bangs again, louder, and I hear metal screech. Something's forcing it up. The ranger doesn't flinch, just steps closer, gun steady now. "You opened it," he growls, and I'm like, "No, I didn't touch it." But he's not listening. His face twists, all wrong, like he's pissed and scared at once. I swing the crowbar, aiming to knock the gun, but he's fast, sidesteps, cracks me across the jaw with the pistol grip. I hit the dirt, head spinning, tasting blood. I'm scrambling up when the hatch blows open. Lid flies off, clangs into a tree, and this thing climbs out. Not human, not even close. Tall, wiry, all joints and pale skin stretched tight, moving jerky like a broken puppet. My stomach lurches, pure horror, man, and the ranger's shouting, firing at it. Bullets hit, but it doesn't slow, just screeches, this high, grating sound that makes my ears ring. I'm on my feet, crowbar up, thinking, what the hell is that? It lunges at the ranger, claws. Yeah, claws, raking his arm. He yells, drops the gun, and I'm running. No plan, just pure panic. The thing's fast, tearing after me, and I hear the ranger cursing behind it. I dodge through trees, branches snapping, and trip, roll down a slope, crowbar flying. I land hard by the river, wind knocked out, and see it coming, silhouette against the ridge, eyes glowing like embers. I'm up, splashing into the zigzag, water freezing, slowing me down. It's on the bank, pacing, then jumps, lands mid-river, splashing toward me. I grab a rock, chuck it, cracks its head, buys me a second, and I'm bolting downstream, soaked, lungs burning. I hear it splash behind, gaining, and I'm thinking, this is it. Ethan, you're toast. But I spot the Bronco through the trees, my shot. I hit the shore, sprinting, keys in my pocket jangling. The thing's close, feel its breath, hot and rank, and I dive for the driver's door, yank it open, slam it shut as claws scrape the metal. Engine roars, and I peel out, tires spinning mud, fishtailing down the road. Rear view shows it chasing, those eyes locked on, but I'm pulling away, heart hammering like a jackhammer. I'm miles out, shaking, when I realize the ranger's gone, left him with that thing. Guilt hits, but I'm not turning back, no way. The Bronco's rattling, scratched to hell, and I'm gripping the wheel, aiming for Portland. That hum's still in my head, creepy and persistent, and I'm wondering if I just pissed off something I can't outrun. I pull into a turnout, hands trembling, and check the damage, gouges deep in the door, like it tried to pry me out. I'm catching my breath, wiping blood from my lip, when headlights flare behind me. A truck, slow, creeping up. My gut drops. It's him, the ranger, alive, one arm hanging limp, staring through the windshield. He doesn't stop, just rolls past, and I see it. Those same glowing eyes in his passenger seat. I'm parked in that turnout, staring as the ranger's truck rolls by, those glowing eyes locked on me from the passenger seat. My hands are shaking, Bronco still idling, and I'm thinking, no way he's alive with that thing. But he is, arm dangling bloody, face blank, and I'm not waiting to find out why. I slam the gas, tires screeching, and peel out, aiming for Portland. The rear view's my lifeline. His truck's turning, following, slow but steady. The road's twisty, dark as hell, and I'm pushing the Bronco hard. Engine growling, suspension rattling. Those headlights stay behind me, creeping closer, and I hear that hum again, loud, vibrating the dash. My jaw's throbbing from that pistol hit, but adrenaline's keeping me sharp. I swerve around a bend, praying for a straight shot, when something slams the roof, hard, denting it down. I yell, get off, and fishtail, trying to shake it. It's that thing, claws scrape metal, and I see it in the side mirror, hanging on, eyes blazing. I crank the wheel, hit a ditch, bounce back, damn near roll, but it slips, tumbles off into the brush. I don't stop, just floor it, heart pounding like a drum. The ranger's truck is still there, gaining now, and I'm thinking he's not human anymore, not with that thing riding shotgun. I hit a fork, left's a fire road, right's toward town. I pick right, praying for lights, people, anything. The Bronco's rattling bad, something's busted under the hood, but I can't stop. Headlights flare ahead, a semi, thank God, and I flash my high beams, honk like crazy. It slows, and I cut in front, waving out the window. Driver's a big dude, bearded, yelling, what's your deal? I shout, guys after me, help, and point back. The ranger's truck screeches to a stop, 50 yards off, just sitting there. The semi guy, calls himself Mitch, leans out, sees it, and mutters, that ain't right. I'm panting, saying, he's got something with him, not normal. Mitch grabs a tire thumper from his cab, says, stay here, but I'm not letting him go alone. I grab my wrench, follow, shaky but pissed. We're 10 feet from the truck when the ranger steps out. Slow, limping, arm dripping red. "Leave it," he rasps, but his eyes are wrong. Milky, glowing faint. Mitch swings the thumper, yells, "Back off," and I'm ready with the wrench, but that thing lunges from the cab, fast, clawing at Mitch. He stumbles, swings, connects, cracks its arm, and I jump in, smashing the wrench into its skull. It screeches, reels back, and I grab Mitch, haul him to the semi. I'm yelling, "Go, go," and he floors it, my Bronco forgotten. The thing's up, chasing, but we're pulling away, 50, 60 miles an hour. Ranger's just standing there, watching, as that hum fades. Mitch is cursing, arm bleeding where it clawed him, and I'm checking the mirrors. Nothing now, just road. We hit Portland's outskirts, streetlights blazing, and I'm thinking I made it, barely. Mitch drops me at a diner, says he'll call it in. Cops, tow for my rig. I'm a mess, jaw swollen, hands trembling as I clutch a coffee. The Bronco's toast, but I'm alive, and that's what counts. I'm replaying it, the hatch, the Ranger, that thing, and I know I shouldn't have messed with it. Should have driven off day one. I'm sipping burnt coffee, trying to calm down, when a cop rolls in, takes my story, skeptical as hell. "Bear, maybe," he says, but I snap. "Bears don't ride in trucks." He shrugs, leaves me there, and I'm alone, staring out the window. Something's nagging me. Those eyes, that hum. I pat my pocket, feel the wrench, and realize I'm not safe yet. Not even close. I'm holed up in that diner, nursing coffee, when the tow guy calls. Bronco's hauled to a lot in Portland, scratched to hell, but running. I thank Mitch in my head. He saved my ass. But I'm a wreck, jumping at every shadow. My mistake was poking around that hatch, thinking I could handle it. Now I've got blood on my hands, literal and not. And I'm kicking myself for not bolting sooner. I crash at a motel nearby, cheap and quiet, locking the door tight. Shower's hot, but it doesn't scrub off the fear. That thing's face is burned in my brain, all claws and glow. I collapse on the bed, wrenched by my pillow, and sleep hits hard. Dreams of the Ranger, his voice rasping. "You opened it." I wake up soaked, 3 a.m., and hear it. The hum, faint outside. My heart stops, and I'm at the window, peering out. Nothing, just cars and neon. Morning comes, and I'm packing, ready to hitch back to Salem. I call my buddy Nate, spill the whole messed up story. He's quiet, then says, "You sure you didn't dream it, man?" I laugh, bitter, and say, "Tell that to my jaw." He offers to grab me, but I'm already on a bus, wrench in my bag, watching every passenger like they might sprout claws. Back home, I'm a ghost, shop's closed, I'm off the grid. Bronco's in my garage, gouges staring at me like a warning. I should have torched it, left no trace, but I'm too attached, dumb move. Days pass, and I'm jumpy. Every noise is that hum, every shadow's those eyes. I hit the bar one night, needing a drink, and spot a news clip. Hiker missing near Zigzag, no leads. My gut twists, it's tied to that hatch, I know it. A week later, I'm wrenching on a carburetor, trying to feel normal. When the mail comes, no return address, just a photo. It's me, by the Bronco, first day, snapped from the ridge. My hands shake, and I flip it, scrawled in black. "You let it out." I'm sick, man. Pure horror, because I didn't open that hatch, but I let it to the surface, didn't I? That Ranger's dead, or worse, and I'm the loose end. Cops won't buy it. Called M, got laughed off, so I'm alone, bolting my doors, sleeping with the lights on. One night, I hear scratching, slow, deliberate, on the garage door. I grab the wrench, check the Bronco. New marks, fresh, like it followed me. I'm losing it, telling myself it's kids, but that hum's back, buzzing in my walls. I move, new town, new name, ditch the Bronco for cash. It's not enough. Phone rings one night. No number, just static and a rasp. "You can't fix this." I smash it, grab my gear, and run again. Months later, I hear Mount Hood's closed off. Ranger Station burned, bodies missing. I know what did it, and I know why. I'm in a dive bar now, states away, telling some drunk I'm a mechanic who lost his nerve. He laughs, but I don't. Every hum's a trigger, every glow's a threat. I let that thing loose, didn't stop it, and that's my tragedy. It's out there, hunting, and I'm the idiot who gave it a key. I keep moving, wrench in my pocket, waiting for it to find me. It will. Those eyes don't forget. I'm alive, but it's a curse, and this mess is mine to carry till it ends me. I'm Sarah Mitchell, 29 years old, and I live in Bend, a couple hours southeast of where this whole disaster unfolded. I'm a graphic designer, usually glued to a screen, but I've always loved the outdoors. Camping's my escape from deadlines and emails. Last October, I decided to take my van, a beat-up Sprinter I converted myself, up to the Columbia River Gorge near Portland for a weekend with friends. Me, my buddy Claire, and her boyfriend Ryan. We planned to park near a trailhead, pitch a tent, and just chill. The drive from Bend was gorgeous. Fall colors popping, air crisp through the van's cracked window. We stopped at a cafe in Hood River, grabbed some sandwiches, and laughed about Claire's terrible campfire cooking. The barista, a guy with a nose ring, overheard us talking about camping and said, "Gorge gets weird at night. Stick close to your van." I rolled my eyes. Every local's got a ghost story, right? We piled back in, music blasting, ready for a good time. We hit the gorge by late afternoon, found a spot off a dirt road near Wakena Falls, secluded, with a view of the river glinting below. I parked the van, Claire and Ryan set up their tent nearby, and we got a fire going. The place was stunning, all cliffs and pines, like something out of a painting. I remember thinking, this is perfect, as we cracked beers and roasted marshmallows, Ryan telling dumb jokes while Claire swatted his arm. Night crept in fast, and we zipped into the tent, me and Claire sharing it, Ryan in the van for his luxury sleep. I've camped a million times, so I wasn't fazed, just cozy with my sleeping bag and a headlamp. Claire was out quick, snoring softly, but I stayed up, sketching the falls in my journal by lamplight. Around midnight, I heard it, a low whistle, sharp, like someone signaling. I froze, listening, but it didn't come again. Just wind, I told myself. I crawled out, barefoot, to check the van. Ryan's silhouette was there, sprawled in the back, so I relaxed. But the fire was out, not just low, smothered, dirt piled on it. Weird, since we'd left it burning. I grabbed a stick, poked it, and found a scrap of paper in the ashes, half burned, with leaves scrawled in block letters. My stomach flipped, creepy as hell, but maybe kids screwing around? I tossed it, climbed back in the tent, and didn't sleep much. Morning hit, and I was groggy but laughed it off with Claire over coffee. She'd slept through it all. Ryan stumbled out, whining about a sore back, and I didn't mention the paper. Didn't want to spook them. We ate granola, planned a hike to the falls, and I checked the van. Locked, no damage, but that whistle stuck with me. I kept it to myself, figuring I'd scope things out later. The hike was chill. Falls were roaring, mist soaking us, and Claire snapped a million pics. I kept glancing back, though feeling watched. Nothing concrete, just a prickle on my neck. By noon, we were back, grilling hot dogs, joking again. I decided I'd check the area at dusk, see if anyone was camping nearby, messing with us. Didn't want to ruin the vibe yet. Dusk rolled in, and I grabbed my flashlight, told Claire and Ryan I was stretching my legs. The woods were quiet, too quiet, no birds or rustling. I circled the site, found nothing but tire tracks, not ours, deeper, fresh. My gut was knotting up, that disturbing feeling growing. I headed back, ready to tell them we should pack up tomorrow. I'm almost at the tent when I hear Claire laugh, then stop, sharp, like someone cut her off. I freeze, flashlight off, listening. No voices, no Ryan's dumb jokes, just silence, heavy and wrong. I grip the flashlight, heart thumping, and creep forward, hoping it's nothing, knowing it's not. I'm inching toward the tent, flashlight clutched like a weapon, when I hear a thud, low, muffled, from inside. My pulse spikes, and I whisper, "Claire? Ryan?" No answer, just that eerie quiet. I flick the beam on, sweep it over the tent, shadows move inside, but not right, too jerky. I'm thinking prank, fight, anything but what my gut's screaming. I unzip the flap, slow, and peek in empty. Sleeping bags tossed, Claire's phone cracked on the ground. My heart's in my throat now. I back out, swing the light toward the van. Doors open, Ryan's not there. "Guys, this isn't funny." I yell, voice shaky. Nothing but wind answers, and that whistle cuts through again, closer, from the trees. I'm freaking out. Man, full-on horror vibes. I check the van. Keys gone. My sketchbook open on the seat. A new page torn out. Someone's been here, and it's not Claire or Ryan. I'm torn. Search the woods or stay put. I grab a knife from the van's kitchen kit. Small, but better than nothing. And head for the tent again, hoping for clues. Inside, I spot blood. Smears, not much, on Claire's sleeping bag. My stomach lurches, and I'm muttering, no, no, no. Like that'll change it. I'm a designer, not a cop. What am I supposed to do? I stuff her phone in my pocket, thinking I'll find a signal somewhere. Back outside, I hear it. Boots crunching, slow, circling the site. I kill the light, crouch by the van, knife trembling in my hand. The crunching stops, and I hear breathing. Heavy, deliberate, maybe 20 feet away. I'm thinking bears, drifters, anything rational. But that whistle comes again, sharp, mocking. I'm not imagining this. It's real, and it's bad. I whisper, stay calm, Sarah, but I'm anything but. I decide to move. Woods are too open, but the trail to the falls might have hikers, a ranger, something. I creep toward it, knife out, eyes darting. Halfway there, I trip, damn near scream. Over a rope, taut across the path. Not natural, tied tight, meant to catch someone. I cut it with the knife, hands shaking, and keep going, faster now, that disturbing whistle trailing me like a shadow. The trail's dark, my flashlight bouncing, when I spot a sign, Ranger Outpost, 2 miles east. Hope flares, but it's short-lived. Headlights flash behind me, not the vans, coming fast. I dive off the path, hide behind a log, and see a truck, old, dented, no plates. It slows, stops, and a guy steps out, tall, in a ranger jacket, flashlight sweeping. Come on out, he calls, voice too calm. My skin crawls, he's not here to help. I stay low, barely breathing, as he walks the trail, light missing me by inches. He's muttering, words I can't catch, angry, and I see it. A badge, but it's wrong, scratched, like he carved it himself. He kicks the cut rope, curses, and heads back to his truck, engine rumbling as he drives off. I'm shaking, realizing Claire and Ryan aren't just lost. They're taken, and this guy's part of it. I'm up, running toward the outpost, knife clutched tight. The woods feel alive now. Every snap's a threat, every shadows him. I'm thinking about that paper, leave, and how I ignored it. Dumb move, Sarah. My phone's dead, Claire's too, and I'm praying the outpost has a radio, a real ranger, anything to stop this nightmare. I'm a mile in, gasping, when I hear Claire scream. Faint, cut off fast, from the ridge above. My heart stops, and I'm torn again. Go for help or find her. I'm no hero, but she's my friend. I turn uphill, toward the scream, knife ready, knowing I'm walking into something awful. I'm scrambling up the ridge, legs burning, Claire's scream echoing in my head. The slope's steep, all loose dirt and roots, and I'm gripping the knife so hard my knuckles ache. It's pitch black now, my flashlight's beam jerking wild as I climb. Another scream. Ryan this time, raw, desperate, cuts through, and I'm thinking, they're alive, I can save them. But deep down, this feels like a horror show, and I'm way out of my depth. I hit a plateau, panting, and spot a glow, orange, flickering, like a fire, maybe 100 yards off. I creep closer, staying low, and see it. A clearing, that truck parked, and 2 figures by a fire pit. One's the ranger, pacing, holding a rifle. The other's, God, it's Claire, tied to a tree, gagged, eyes wide with terror. Ryan's nearby, on his knees, blood on his face. My stomach twists, pure, disturbing panic. I'm hidden behind a boulder, trying to think, when the ranger stops, turns my way, like he senses me. I freeze, heart slamming, but he doesn't come, just laughs, low and wrong, and says, "You're late, sweetheart." My blood runs cold. He knows I'm here, or he's bluffing, but either way, it's bad. Claire's sobbing through the gag, and Ryan's muttering, don't, like he's begging for his life. I'm about to move, maybe cut Claire free, when I hear it, a second set of boots, heavy, from the trees behind me. I spin, knife up, and there's another guy, same fake ranger gear, face scarred, holding a machete. He grins, teeth yellow, and says, "Found her." I swing the knife, wild, catch his arm, He grunts but grabs my wrist, twists hard. I kick, scream, get off, and we're wrestling, my flashlight skittering across the dirt. He's stronger, pinning me, but I bite his hand, hard, tasting blood, and he howls, loosening up. I roll free, grab the knife, and stab. Gets his thigh, not deep, but enough. He's cursing, swinging the machete, and I'm running, crashing through brush, toward the fire's glow. I'm thinking, get to Claire, get her out, but the first ranger's on me now, rifle raised, shouting, stop, or she's dead. I skid to a halt, trapped, his buddy limping up behind. They drag me to the clearing, tie my hands, rope burns, tight as hell, and shove me next to Ryan. Claire's crying, and I whisper, I'm sorry, but it's useless. The scarred guy's patching his leg, muttering about teaching me, while the other one calls himself Holt, checks a radio, static crackling. Boss wants him quick, he says, and my skin crawls. Boss? This isn't random, it's planned, and we're in deep. Holt kneels, grabs my chin, says, you should have left. His breath's rank, eyes empty, and I'm staring at that badge, scratched, fake, just like I thought. I spit in his face, get a backhand for it. Cheek stings, but I'm too scared to care. Ryan's shaking, Claire's frozen, and I'm thinking, we're dead if I don't move. I test the ropes, loose, not perfect. Holt's distracted, yelling at Scarface, and I'm working my wrists, slow, desperate. The radio crackles again, someone's voice, garbled, saying, bring him now. Holt nods, grabs Claire, cuts her ropes, but keeps her gagged, dragging her toward the truck. Ryan lunges, dumb move, gets a boot to the ribs, collapses gasping. I'm twisting harder, rope biting skin, and it's giving, almost free. Scarface is on me, though, machete glinting, and I'm out of time. I'm seconds from breaking loose when Holt turns, sees me, and raises the rifle. Don't, he snarls, but I'm past caring. I'm getting us out, or we're all dead. The truck's engine roars, Claire's inside, and I'm thinking, now, Sarah, now. As Scarface steps closer, blade ready to end it. My wrists snap free, rope rips my skin, but I'm loose, and I dive at Scarface, slamming my shoulder into his gut. He stumbles, machete swinging wild, and I'm up, grabbing Ryan's arm. Move, I scream, and we're running, crashing through the dark. Holt's yelling, rifle cracking, bullet clips a tree, splinters flying. But we're in the trees now, zigzagging, pure adrenaline. Claire's scream cuts off behind us. Truck's moving, she's gone. Ryan's wheezing, blood on his shirt, but he's keeping up, barely. I'm thinking, get to the van, get out, but the trail's a blur, my knife's gone, and Holt's boots are pounding behind. I hear the truck rev, Scarface driving, probably, and I'm praying they're not circling to cut us off. We hit a ditch, slide down, and I pull Ryan under a log, whispering, quiet. Headlights sweep above, trucks close, engine growling. I'm shaking, hands bleeding, but I'm not done. We need the van. I hiss, and Ryan nods, eyes wide. We crawl out, sprint downhill, my lungs burning like fire. The sight's in sight. Van's there, tent shredded, and I'm fumbling for the spare key in my pocket, taped inside my wallet. Holt's voice carries, closer than I thought, yelling, they're mine. I'm thinking, not today, asshole, as I rip the key free. We hit the van, I yank the door open, and Ryan dives in, passenger side, gasping. I crank the engine. Thank God it starts, and floor it, dirt spraying. Headlights flare in the rear view, truck's back, gaining fast. I swerve, dodging ruts, and Ryan shouting, they've got Claire. I know, man, I know, but we're no good dead. The van's rattling, not built for this, but I push it, aiming for the main road. A shot rings out, back window shatters, glass everywhere. Ryan ducks, I scream, get down, and keep driving, weaving like a maniac. The truck's bumper clips us, metal grinds, van fishtails, but I hold it, hit pavement, and gun it. Speedometer's climbing, 60, 70, and their lights fade, just a bit. I'm thinking, cops, we need cops, but my phone's in the tent, Ryan's is gone, and we're alone. We hit a gas station, neon blazing, and I skid to a stop, yelling at the clerk, a kid, acne-scarred, to call 911. He's fumbling, scared, but dials, and I'm checking Ryan, bruised, bleeding alive. I'm babbling about Claire, the Rangers, the truck, and the kids nodding, wide-eyed. Headlights flash outside. Not them, a delivery van. But I'm jumpy, expecting Holt any second. Cops roll in, two of them, skeptical but listening. I spill it, blood, ropes, fake rangers, and Ryan backs me up, voice hoarse. They're taking notes, radioing for a search, but I see it in their eyes. They think we're nuts. I'm begging, find Claire, she's with them. But they're slow, methodical, and I'm losing it. Every minute's a knife in my gut. I'm sitting on the curb, Ryan beside me. When a tow truck pulls up, cops called it for the van. I'm numb, replaying Claire's scream, Holt's grin. We're safe. Yeah, but it's hollow. She's gone, and I ran. The clerk hands me water, says, "You're lucky," but I don't feel it. Something's off. Those guys weren't random, and this isn't over. I'm watching the road, expecting that truck, when a cop waves me over, found my sketchbook in the tent, brought it back. I flip it open, and my heart stops. A new sketch, not mine. Claire, tied up, with "too late" scratched across it. I'm sick. Man, this is personal, and they're still out there, laughing. I'm in the gas station lot, staring at that sketch, my hands shaking so bad I drop the book. Ryan grabs it, sees it, and goes pale, mumbles, "We should have fought harder." I'm kicking myself. My big mistake was splitting up, leaving Claire in that tent. If I'd stayed, maybe I'd have seen them coming, stopped it. Now she's gone, and this horror's on me, permanent as a tattoo. Cops take the sketch, bag it, but they're still half convinced it's a prank gone wrong. I'm yelling, "They're fake rangers, check the badge," but they're calm, saying they'll look into it. Ryan's checked out, head in his hands, and I'm alone, replaying every second. Whistle, paper, blood. I should have packed us up that first night, driven straight back to Bend. Dumb, Sarah, so dumb. We crash at a motel. Cops orders, till they sort things out. I'm in a twin bed, Ryan on the floor, neither of us sleeping. I keep seeing Claire's eyes, that gag, and I'm whispering, "I'll find you," like it means anything. Morning comes, and the cops call. Found the truck, abandoned. No Claire, no Holt, no Scarface. Just blood inside, not enough to ID. My heart sinks. They're gone, and she's with them. I'm back in Bend a week later, a ghost in my own apartment. Work's on hold. Can't design when I'm jumping at every noise. Ryan's a wreck, moved to his mom's, barely talks. I'm scouring news, forums, anything about missing hikers, fake rangers, nothing solid, just whispers of incidents in the gorge. I'm thinking I should have burned that sketchbook, kept it from the cops. Maybe they'd try harder. One night, I'm home, sketching to calm down, when the power flickers, hums, cuts out. My pulse spikes, that whistle's back, faint outside. I grab a bat, check the windows. Nothing, but there's a note under my door. No envelope, just "You ran," in that same block scrawl. I'm shaking, calling 911, but they're slow, say it's probably kids. I know it's Holt, or worse. I move, new city, new locks, no forwarding address. Doesn't help. Every creaks him, every shadow's Scarface. I get a package one day, no return. Claire's necklace, the one she wore camping, crusted with dirt. I'm sick, sobbing, because it's proof. She's gone, or worse, and I failed her. Cops take it, add it to the file, but it's cold now, nobody's looking. Months pass, and I'm a shell. New job, fake smiles, nightmares on repeat. News hits, body found in the gorge, too burned to ID. I know it's Claire, even if they don't say. I'm haunted, man, this tragedy's mine, because I ran, left her to die. I should have fought, died trying. Anything but this guilt eating me alive. I'm in a new apartment, bat by the bed, when I hear it. Whistle, low, through the walls. I'm up, checking locks, but it's closer in the hall. I grab the bat, open the door, empty, just a scrap of paper. Next. I'm done running. Whatever's coming, I'm facing it, for Claire, for me. It's not over. Holt's out there, or something worse, and I'm marked. I'm alive, but it's a curse, a debt I'll pay one way or another. This is my fault, and the gorge keeps my secret, waiting for me to come back. I'm Nathan Pierce, 33 years old, and I live in Medford, a few hours south of where this mess went down. I'm a carpenter, love building things, working with my hands, so when I get a chance to unplug, I head for the woods. Last November, I took my pickup, a '98 Ford I've kept running forever, up to the Clackamas River area near Portland for a solo camping trip. Packed some tools, a cooler, and my sleeping bag. Figured I'd park by a trailhead, sleep in the truck bed, and just breathe for a weekend. The drive up was easy. Highway cutting through hills, trees bare and stark against the gray sky. I stopped at a bait shop outside Portland for gas and a coffee. The old guy at the register, all wrinkles and tobacco stains, asked where I was headed. Clackamas, I said, and he grunted. Watch the trails. Ranger's been twitchy lately. I shrugged it off. Folks always got something to say about the wild. I hit the forest by noon, found a spot off a logging road near Bagby Hot Springs. Quiet, river rushing nearby. Perfect. Parked the Ford, tossed a tarp over the bed, and set up a folding chair. The air was cold, smelled like damp earth and pine, and I cracked a beer, watching the water churn. A lookout tower poked up on a ridge maybe a mile off. Rusted, lonely, kinda cool. I figured I'd hike there tomorrow, see what's what. Afternoon faded quick, and I grilled a burger on a little propane stove. Nothing fancy, just me and the basics. I've slept in my truck plenty, got a foam pad rigged up, so I wasn't worried about crashing out. Sun dropped, and I climbed in, locking the cab from habit. Rolled the window down a sliver, let the river's hum fill the quiet, and drifted off, feeling like I'd left the world behind. I jolt awake, middle of the night, truck rocking like something hit it. I'm up, grabbing my flashlight, heart already thumping. Clock says 1 a.m., and I'm thinking bear, wind, anything normal. I flick the beam out, trees, river, nothing moving. But the rocking wasn't a one-off. It's steady, slow, like someone's pushing. I mutter, cut it out, like that'll help, and lean out the window, shining the light. Empty, but that tower's up there, and I swear I see a flicker. Red, quick, gone. I step out, boots crunching gravel, flashlight sweeping. Truck's fine, no marks yet, but there's a smell, sharp, like burnt rubber. I circle it, uneasy, and spot something under the tarp, a handprint, smudged in dirt, big and fresh on the tailgate. My gut twists, creepy as hell, and no way I did that. I'm thinking prank, but out here, alone, I climb back in, lock everything, and keep the light on, wide awake now. Morning hits, cold and foggy, and I'm stiff, sipping coffee from a thermos. The handprint's still there, mocking me, and I'm rattled but stubborn. Won't let it ruin my trip. I check the truck, tires good, no damage, and decide I'll hike to that tower after breakfast. Maybe a ranger's up there, can explain this crap. I fry some eggs, eat quick, and pack a bag, water, hammer from my toolkit, phone with no signal. I lock the Ford, start up the trail, overgrown, muddy, winding toward the ridge. The fog's thick, swallowing sounds, and I'm jumpy, checking behind me every few steps. That burnt smell's faint but lingering, and I'm starting to think this isn't just a weird night. It's a warning I should have heeded. I'm halfway up, breathing hard, when I hear it, a low buzz, like a saw running far off, coming from the tower. My carpenter ears perk up, familiar, but wrong out here. I grip the hammer, keep going, telling myself it's nothing, knowing I'm lying. I'm pushing up the trail, hammer in hand, that buzz growing louder, grating, mechanical, not right for these woods. The fog's so thick I can barely see 10 feet, and I'm tripping over roots, cursing under my breath. My phone's useless, no bars, battery half dead, so I'm on my own, chasing that sound like a dumbass. The tower's silhouette looms ahead, jagged against the mist, and I'm thinking maybe it's a generator, but that burnt smell's stronger now, choking me. I hit the base, rusted steel legs, stairs sagging, and the buzz is deafening, vibrating up my spine. I call out, "Hey, anyone here?" Voice swallowed by the fog. No answer, but the stairs creak, like someone's moving up top. I'm torn, climb or bail. I've built enough to know when something's off, and this tower's screaming trouble. But I'm here, so I start up, hammer ready, each step groaning under me. Up top, the platform's a mess. Broken glass, maps pinned to walls, a chair tipped over. The buzz is coming from a corner, a radio, old as hell, spitting static and that hum. I nudge it with my boot, stops, then starts again, louder. My skin's crawling, and I spot a logbook, pages torn, last entry saying, Unit 7, offline, containment breach. Containment? What the hell's that mean? I'm flipping through when I see it. A smear, red, fresh, on the edge. Blood, no question. I'm backing toward the stairs when I hear boots, slow, heavy below. I kill my flashlight, peer over, guy in a ranger coat, climbing up, face hidden by a hood. You lost, he calls, voice rough, and I'm thinking, yeah, lost my damn mind coming here. I say, just checking the view, playing it cool, but he's not buying. Keeps coming, a crowbar dangling in his hand. My gut's screaming, same vibe as that handprint. I decide to bolt. Stairs are my only shot. I'm halfway down when he hits the platform, yelling, stop. I don't. Jump the last few steps, land hard, and run, fog swallowing me. The buzz spikes, like it's pissed, and I hear him thudding after. I'm dodging trees, hammer slipping in my sweaty grip, and I trip, faceplant in mud, scramble up, keep going. He's close, too close, and I'm thinking I should have stayed by the truck. I hit the logging road, lungs burning, and spot the Ford, Salvation. I'm fumbling keys when he breaks through the fog, crowbar raised, eyes wild under that hood. You don't belong here, he shouts, and I dive into the cab, slam the door as he swings, cracks the window, glass spidering. I crank the engine, peel out, mud flying, and he's in the rear view, just standing there, fog curling around him. I'm shaking, driving blind, when the truck sputters, gas gauge dropping fast. I filled it yesterday, no way it's empty. I pull over, pop the hood, fuel lines cut, clean, deliberate. My heart sinks, someone messed with it while I was gone. I'm stranded, that buzz still humming faint, and I'm realizing this isn't random. It's personal, disturbing as hell. I grab my hammer, lock the cab, and hunker down, fog pressing in. Night's falling, and I hear it. Boots again, circling slow. I'm thinking Ranger, but that crowbar, that cut line, it's not right. I shine my flashlight out, catches a figure, tall, slipping into the trees. My blood's ice. He's back, and he's not alone. I hear a second set, heavier, closing in. I'm gripping the hammer, sweating despite the cold, when the radio in my bag crackles, same buzz, then a voice, garbled. Unit 7, secure him. My stomach drops, secure me? I'm no hero, but I'm not waiting to find out what that means. Ivaya at Sarah Mitchell camping means camping involves going out into the woods with friends or alone, pitching a tent near a vehicle or sleeping in it, and experiencing scary situations. Perfectly normal, right? Wrong. Here's my horror story straight from Portland. I'm locked in the truck, hammer in my lap, fog so thick I can't see past the hood. The buzz is back, louder, drilling into my skull, and those boots are closer, crunching gravel like they've got all the time in the world. I'm whispering, stay cool, Nate, but my hands are slick, shaking as I grip the flashlight. I flick it on, aim it out the cracked window. Two figures now, one's the Ranger, crowbar dangling, the other's bigger, hunched, moving wrong, like his joints don't bend right. My gut's screaming, this is horror movie bad. The big one lurches forward, slams a fist, or claw, into the tailgate, dents it like tinfoil. I yell, back off, and crank the engine. It coughs, dies, that cut fuel line screwing me. The Ranger's laughing, low and nasty, saying, told you, Carpenter, you're done. I'm trapped, heart jackhammering, and that big thing's clawing at the door, metal screeches, peeling open. I swing the hammer, crack its arm. It snarls, not human, and I'm thinking, what the hell is this? I kick the door, shove past it. Things fast, grabs my leg, nails digging in. I twist, smash the hammer into its face. Bone crunches, it lets go, and I'm running, fog swallowing me. The Ranger's firing. Pistol, loud as hell. Bullets zip past. One grazes my shoulder, burns like fire. I'm bleeding, stumbling, but I don't stop. River's my shot, cover, anything to lose them. I hit the water, icy, up to my knees, splashing downstream. That buzz is everywhere now, and I hear the Ranger shouting, he's mine, like I'm some prize. The big one's splashing after, faster than me, gaining, and I'm thinking, this is it. Nate, you're dead. I dive under a fallen log, hold my breath, let the current pull me. It's clawing above, snarling, but I'm gone, drifting, lungs screaming. I wash up downstream, coughing, soaked, shoulder throbbing. Fog's thinner here, and I'm crawling, hammer still in hand, won't let it go. I hear the truck engine, rangers driving, searching, and that thing's thrashing somewhere close. I'm hiding in reeds, shaking, when I see it. A badge, half sunk in the mud, scratched to hell, Unit 7 etched on it. My stomach drops, same as the logbook. This isn't random, it's some messed up operation. I'm crawling, blood mixing with river muck, when headlights flare, ranger's truck, slow, hunting me. I flatten, barely breathing, and see him, face lit by the dash, eyes glowing. Not right, like that thing's. He's not human anymore, or never was, and I'm realizing I've stumbled into something big, disturbing, way over my head. The big one's with him, hunched in the bed, sniffing the air, hunting me. I wait, Fog my only friend, till they roll past. I'm up, limping toward the road. Gotta find help, a phone, anything. Shoulders screaming, but I push it down. Carpenter's tough, right? I hit pavement, flag a car. An old lady, freaked, but she stops. Hospital. I gasp, climbing in, and she's peeling out, babbling about crazy folks in these woods. I'm thinking she doesn't know the half of it. She drops me at an ER in Portland. Docs patch me up, ask questions I dodge. Fell hiking, I say, and they buy it mostly. I'm bandaged, alive, but my head's spinning. Ranger, that thing, Unit 7. I'm safe. Yeah, but it's fake. Those glowing eyes are burned in my brain, and I know they're not done with me. I'm discharged, hobbling out. When I see it, my hammer, on a gurney, smeared with black gunk, not blood. Nurse says, yours? And I nod, grab it, feel sick. That thing stuffs on it, and I'm wondering what I hit. What's after me now? I'm out of the ER, hammer tucked in my coat, shoulders stiff but working. The old lady's gone, cops didn't show, lucky break, 'cause I'm not ready to talk. I limp to a payphone, call my buddy Jake in Medford, voice shaky. I say, pick me up, Portland now. He's confused, but he's coming, good man. I'm watching the lot, every headlight's that truck, every shadow's that thing. I'm pacing, cold, when I hear it, buzz, faint, from the woods across the street. My heart's racing, and I'm gripping the hammer, scanning. Nothing, but it's there, I know it. A car pulls up, not Jake, beat up sedan, and a guy leans out, ranger coat, no badge. Need a lift? He says, smirking, and I'm bolting. Bad shoulder, bad leg, don't care. He's laughing, peeling after me. I cut through an alley, trash cans crashing, and he's on foot now, fast, crowbar in hand. Can't run, Pierce, he yells, knows my name. How? And I'm thinking, this is it. I swing the hammer, catch his wrist. He drops the crowbar, curses, but keeps coming. I'm running, alley's a maze, and I hear that thing, snarling, close, clawing brick behind me. Horror's real, man, and I'm the prey. I hit a street, cars honking, and dive into traffic, dodging, praying. A cab slows, I jump in, yell, drive. Guy's pissed, but he goes. Rangers in the rear view. That thing lurching after, glowing eyes locked on. Cabs flying. I'm throwing cash, saying, faster, and we're losing them. Tires squeal. They fade, but my chest's tight, breath short. We hit downtown, lights everywhere, and I bail. Cab guy's yelling, but I'm gone, blending into a crowd. Jake's text hits. Here, bus station, and I'm hobbling, hammer hidden, scanning for those eyes. I spot his Jeep, dive in, and he's like, what the hell, Nate? I spill it. Truck, Ranger, that thing. He's pale, says, you're nuts, but drives, fast, south to Medford. We're on I-5, Jake's quiet, and I'm watching the mirrors. Nothing, but that buzz is in my head, stuck. Shoulders throbbing, black gunk still on the hammer, and I'm thinking, they know me now. Jake drops me home. Garage, my safe spot, and I'm locking every door, hammer by the couch, crashing hard. I wake up, noon, Jake's gone, left a note, get help. I laugh, bitter, help for what? I check the truck, towed back, scratched to hell, fuel line cut clean. I'm fixing it, hands steady, when I hear it, buzz, outside, then a knock. I grab the hammer, crack the door, empty, but a badge is on the step, Unit 7, fresh blood on it. My stomach's in knots, they found me. I'm packing, tools, clothes, gotta move. When headlights flare, truck, slow, circling my street. I kill the lights, duck low, Ranger's out, that thing with him, sniffing, hunting. I'm thinking, not here, and sneak out back, over the fence, running again. Medford's not safe, nowhere is. I'm in the woods behind my place, hammer slick with sweat, when I hear Jake scream, short, cut off, from my house. My heart stops. They got him, my fault, and I'm running blind, tears mixing with dirt, knowing I'm next. I'm crashing through the woods, Jake's scream echoing, and I'm a mess. Guilt choking me, legs won't stop. My mistake was going to Clackamas, poking that tower, should have stayed home, fixed a chair, anything but this. Now Jake's gone, and I'm the idiot who dragged him in. I'm thinking, you're dead, Nate, but I keep moving. Hammer's all I've got left. I hit a highway, flag a trucker, big guy, smells like diesel, say, Portland, please, lying about a breakdown. He grunts, lets me in, and we're rolling, opposite direction, away from Medford, away from Jake. I'm quiet, watching the trees, that buzz faint but there, like it's stitched into me now. Trucker's radio crackles, news, body found, Clackamas, mauled. My gut twists, it's him, my fault. I'm dropped in Portland, new spot, dive motel, cash only, no name. I'm holed up, hammer by the bed, staring at that badge, blood's dry. Unit 7 mocking me. I'm replaying it. Tower, Ranger, that thing, and I know it's not over. They've got my scent, my life, and I'm the loose end in their creepy game. Sleep's a no-go, every hums them, every knocks death. Days blur, new city, new motel, always moving. I ditch the truck, sell it cheap, too hot, too marked. I'm on buses, head down, hammer in my bag, but it's pointless, they find me. Notes slip under doors, running won't fix it, and that buzz follows, louder each time. I'm a ghost, no work, no friends. Jake's the last, and I killed him by running. One night, I'm in Eugene, new room, when the power cuts, buzz fills the dark, loud, close. I grab the hammer, check the window, truck's outside, Ranger leaning on it, that thing pacing, eyes glowing. My heart's done. I'm tired, man, tired of this horror. I write this down, journal, my last shot, hoping someone finds it, stops them. I'm out the back, woods again, full circle, Clackamas all over. They're close, boots, claws, that laugh, and I'm not running anymore. I turn, hammer up, yelling, come on. They charge, Ranger's pistol cracks, things claws flash, and I swing, hit something, feel pain, then nothing. Blackness, quiet, no buzz. Weeks later, cops find my bag, journal, hammer, badge, in the woods. Missing carpenter, they say case cold. Jake's animal attack, they claim, no link. Clackamas stays quiet. Ranger's gone, that thing's hidden, waiting. My story's buried, tragedy swallowed by the fog. I'm gone, but it's not over. Unit 7's out there, hunting, and I'm the fool who woke it. Portland's got its secret, and I paid for it. Jake paid for it, and the next guy's already driving up, clueless, ready to die. This ain't camping. This is hell, and I built it, nail by nail, till it broke me.